Hey guys, Robbie. I got a special guest here to say something.
Greetings, this is Wonder Woman. You are watching Pros versus Noobs.
Actually, Wendy, that's supposed to be Pro teaches noobs. I know you like how to do, you like to do fighting and everything, but not everything's always.
And today, this is Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender. We're going to teach you how pros do things. They do it better than their brother. They're about to celebrate becoming an only child.
Yeah, I hear you say that a lot, Azula.
Yeah, noobs are just twerps and they all need to go to bed. They sure are. I can't stand a noob. You know who's a noob? Billy from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I can't stand that guy. But he is my best friend, so whatever.
Oh, way to go, Mandy. So, yeah. What they said. Welcome to Pro Teaches Noobs. Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teaches Noobs. Today I have with me Pika.
Hey!
And today we're doing our follow-up with the Green Lantern Rebirth with Flash Rebirth, where Barry Allen came back. Well, they more explain his coming back after him coming back in Final Crisis, which right off the bat, I gotta say, I'm gonna be a little critical on this one. I'm not gonna trash it. Not like it's not gonna have as much problems as his second Shazam run that I went over with Ian beforehand, but it's nowhere near as perfect as Green Lantern. And the first one I could definitely say is, it's because it already opens up with Barry back.
Yeah, not to mention, I went briefly rushed through this whole thing when I did my third Flashpoint video, because another way as I like to talk about this series is that this is the first missing half of Flashpoint.
Exactly.
Like, if you have a Flashpoint, it's not a story. It's the latter half, and this is the first half. If you want to tell the story of Flashpoint, you need to go through this first.
Exactly. You do need to go through this, and to a degree, his 12-issue run.
Yeah, I went.
And also to another degree, Blackest Night Flash.
Yeah, that too.
Because that's when that Blackest Night is when Zoom came back. In fact, that's the weird thing I remember. In order, it goes Blackest Night for Zoom. Blackest Night came first. He came back from there. Then it came up to here.
Yeah, it's
out of order. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Right?
Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But like I said, we're gonna do this. Whereas Hal needed fixing, he really did. Hal needed it because to bring back the core and everything. Oh. Here, it feels like he's expanding something that didn't really need that much expanding. He's changing characters that really didn't need that much changing. It's a reminder of why we didn't really need Barry back.
Yeah, it's kind of a very broken base that tries to go for and against it. Well, when you open the issue, you can see the acknowledgement of it.
Exactly. Oh, I hate when it does that. Now, Ethan's artwork's still great.
Yes.
But yeah, we open up with someone else is walking in to recreate the origin.
Oh.
Which is apparently going to be Zoom. Not Zoom. I mean, Eobard.
Professor Zoom.
Professor Zoom.
That's the one moniker that they don't use, man. It's either just Thorn or Reverse Flash, but because they don't use the whole Professor Zoom.
I don't think they knew. I think they realized where the heck did that come from.
Yeah, but it's kind of important in reminding that he is a professor. There are doctors, and then there are professors, and
they keep that, but he's a professor of the Speed Force at the Flash Museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was probably a nickname because he was the foremost expert. But okay, this was great. I have a feeling they use this look here a lot in the show, the CW show. You know, for their idea of how to handle Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's identical. I'm just saying the general idea.
Yeah, in the context of this being the first issue, this still properly hides the identity of who this is.
Even though it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious, but still, for the first time
Because
readers,
and
like
it
in
says,
2009 when this came out.
yep. And then we start getting this setup. The rogues are wondering because they know. Here's the way I do like Jeff Johns makes it clear. They acknowledge it that in the Blackest Night tie-in as well, that Wally believed them when they thought it was a game. That's why they could be so much kinder with him. But they knew Barry would always be too serious. And they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Barry would always take things too seriously compared to the others.
Yeah.
But and yeah, we got stuff with Grodd, all that set up. They didn't go anywhere with this either.
They probably didn't get a chance to because
they didn't because they only had the 12 issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Twin Cities. I also do like how Jeff Johns originally, he set up, which city was it?
Keystone and
yeah, but which was the one that Wally was usually at?
Wasn't it Keystone?
Yeah, Keystone's where we're at currently now for Barry.
No, Central City was for Barry and Keystone was for Wally.
Okay, then Central. Where this is where he sets up the idea that Central is always on the move. Everyone's drinking coffee. Everyone's trying to get stuff done fast. And I like that.
Yeah, it's one way to look at it.
Yep. Barry Allen made me the Flash. Barry Allen made you the Flash? That doesn't make any sense, Jay. You were the Flash like decades before him. You were the first. But I stopped running. Okay, I do like that.
Yeah, this is also something that I brought up when I did the Flashpoint. That Yay is probably used to represent those readers who grew up reading about Barry.
Exactly. Who grew up reading about Barry, and he said, like, he made me the Flash. Like, I would have stopped. But I came back.
The oldest generation.
I gotta be honest, I do not like EVS's Jay. Too barrel-chested.
Yeah, there's kind of the difference between
like his chest is just way too wide.
Runners and weightlifters.
Yeah, but I mean, look at that. His chest is way too wide. Like some artists can get that right. EVS does not get it right here. It looks awkward.
Yeah,
just for Jay.
Yeah, if we will make.
I do like.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I remember EVS. Ethan also did some commentary videos some years ago.
I remember that back when he was more sane.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, call it that. But yeah, I don't think he commented much about Yay. Maybe he jumped over it.
Maybe he did
a lot of other things.
Yep. Oh, we're continuing on. He's playing off of now. Jeff Johns created the twins, but then Mark Waid expanded them, giving them the different powers. How the daughter could phase and the son could somehow build up muscle mass.
Yeah, and I think Wally is used to represent the somewhat younger demographic who also somewhat.
Well, you cannot dump on Wally. You can't. He's like, but there's a difference. Here's the other difference, and there's going to be a lot of compare and contrast. Like this is the Yang to Green Lantern Rebirth Yang. Like for example, everyone accepted Wally. You had people content. It was a divisiveness for Kyle.
Yeah.
But Wally, everyone loved Wally by this point. Ever since Return of Barry Allen, everyone was loving him.
Yeah. But still, Wally, just like Yay, Wally is also kind of used as a mouthpiece here to represent certain part of the reader base.
Say what you will, something about the mouthpiece, the characters being the mouthpiece in Green Lantern rang more true. This feels more like we know everyone loves Wally, but now granted,
Wally is probably trying to also kind of that, hey, it's okay for Barry to be back.
Which is a lot different than from Return of Barry Allen, but for obviously different reasons. Like here, he knows it's him.
Yeah,
that's probably the one advantage of having this be after Final Crisis. You don't have to go through that all, Is he really back? You're like, no, they already know he's back.
Yeah.
That I don't mind.
Mm.
And again, he's trying to be a dad at everything.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Jay won't stop making monkey face at me. Well, Irie won't let me help hang the piñata. And it's a gorilla garage. You two do it together, and you do it silently, or you'll be in your room all day tomorrow. Got it? Yes! Kids are tough. I couldn't imagine having twins. Oh, yeah, I forgot. This is also before Cry because Roy is still here. This is clearly before Cry for Justice.
Oh, yeah. It's
why did he? Why?
Oh.
Right? Just like, why? Why did they have to do this to him?
Yeah, that's kind of. Now, thinking about how few videos ago we talk about, okay, some good about the deal when we like letting Wolfman and Perez do the Teen Titans games. That was
and they're so good here.
And now contrast to it. Oh, come on.
Yeah, why does he always want to go after some of these? Like, because he already hates legacies to a point.
Mm.
Up there are the other Teen Titans. I love it. So Barry's back. What's the big deal? Because he just got back. Yeah. So it's like, where's my party? Why is Barry getting everything?
Yep, and Bart is also used to represent the third demographic.
Of course, like Wally earned being the Flash, but Barry Allen, he was the messiah to everyone. Whatever. I barely know Barry Allen, Tim. He's your grandfather, Bart. He sacrificed. He's back. So he's back. So what did he sacrifice exactly? Again, you're right. I do like how each one of these represent a different, fan base.
Mm.
And it's done smartly. This is how you do it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
This is how you do it.
Cool.
You come up with a way of like you just have them represented, but you don't go overboard. This is not Superboy Prime representing the entitled fanboys level of cringe.
Yeah, this is more restrained and it's divided properly between all three generations.
Exactly. Now, of course, then you have Iris, who, how the hell did she get so hot and attractive looking? It's because Ethan wanted to draw her hot. Because if you've known, she shouldn't be this young.
Or young-ish. Or young.
Nowhere near this close.
Or well-preserved.
Yeah, she shouldn't be. Hold on, let me go to the Bart's, when Bart was there. Hold on.
Yeah, when she looks like a Bart's grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get there. Because that is a prime example of because Evie has wanted to draw her hot.
Mm.
That is the reason, dude. That is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's someone who was, but what degree of hot? Young hot or?
Grandma, what massive hotness you have?
Yeah.
Gil hot.
Yeah, Gil. Yeah. There's some, but we have Joan also there, so the contrast would have.
Yeah, she should have been more in between, but hold on, trying to get a good picture of it. Hold on. Oh, what the heck? I'll just show you here. Hold on. See, right there. Yeah. And this is Tony Daniel, who's done some hot ladies. So,
yeah.
But see here, she looks middle-aged at least.
Yeah, some kind of gilf passing.
Well, I would say she's not
somewhere between MILF and a gilf.
Exactly, because she's not there yet, but at the same time. But then look at her now. Like, what? Yeah, they do come up with a BS explanation later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Barry's back. Bart's back. What more do I need to know? I do like that. She's happy.
Yeah. She's just happy that everyone has come back to her.
Yep. And now him being there at the Flash Museum and everything, it's like, the world get too fast for you? You kidding, Hal? The world's finally catching up. I like that. I like that idea. cell phones and everything, people are finally catching up to him.
Yeah.
That's clever, isn't it? Just like everything's catching up. That, because it is. Let's be honest. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah. This is also a great image because when I did the first Flashpoint video back in 2020, this ended up being the thumbnail.
Oh, it did, huh?
Yeah, mostly probably because it was an automatic one moment, because it was before I started doing thumbnail. It was just video. It's just YouTube. Just when I uploaded the damn video there, YouTube just decided, okay, this.
Right. Perfect choice. But yeah, still though. But I do like that though. Just this whole idea that everything's finally catching up, and it's playing. And I do like the idea that the city is a place that's always on the move for good and for ill.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then of course, they're just meeting up like they're both back. Hell's been at it a bit longer, of course.
Yeah.
It's better than the bow tie. The bow ties weren't my fault. Besides, I don't play the field. I have Iris. Truth be told, if there's any silver lining to your absence, it's that you weren't around to see me as Parallax. Bad enough Ollie was. How many more kids did Green Arrow lead astray while I was gone anyway? One, actually. But I'm hoping you and Oliver can start over. I'm not back to start over. I do like this as well. He doesn't want to continue.
It's something like that I recognize as something of a melancholic.
Hal wanted to redeem himself. He needed that redemption. Barry had a good death.
Yeah, it's like how did I describe it? Like a man out of time being brought into the future, or someone who had a good death, and we had been ripped back into life.
And that's what he did. That's exactly what happened to him.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, he got ripped back. But it is what he explained, like, why? Because we need you again to use the big yellow boots of yours to stomp in Darkseid's face. The League could handle Darkseid. Wally could have. Talking about Final Crisis. Coming back wasn't divine intervention, Hal. It was an accident, like the lightning bolt that hit me. I can feel it. The Speed Force wants to draw me back in. No, you're back, Barry. You should be thrilled as everyone else. This is the one good thing I do like. How Barry just feels like this isn't right. I suppose I wasn't supposed to return. Wally filled my boots, Hal. Wally has kids to look after. He's focused on tomorrow. Bart's back from the future, but Bart's focused on the past. And despite him trying to wear your uniform, he's got years of running to do. You're in the present, pal. You're now. And you escaped the fate no one thought you could ever return from. Who cares how or why you're back? Stop a second and smile, Barry. You outrun death. And they find the remains of the Black Flash. It's time to celebrate. No, I gotta run. He's always feel like he's in a hurry. Like there's some new faces out there. A new Mirror Master, a speedster named Savitar, someone calling himself Tarpit. A lot of these lowlifes are the same. The Savitar was a prison in the Speed Force, but it's just astonishing that the justice system hasn't been able to keep the rogues locked up. Did the rogues ever stay locked up? Come on, Barry. Let's see. This is exactly what the rogues were worried about.
Yeah.
Barry doesn't care if you're a good, decent person and not a great monster. You're committing crimes, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing, though. I get where he's going with this, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that Barry's a square.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, square and old-fashioned.
Which, it's like, that's both endearing, and yet even Superman is not that stuck in black and white.
Yeah, it's like
that was a big part of Infinite Crisis, that he wasn't that way.
Yeah, it's Barry is like going and running, not stopping and thinking.
Exactly, which again, right now he feels like I don't belong. So that makes sense. That does make sense. I will acknowledge that. A lot of my issues here are things that make sense from a story standpoint, which is what puts this above the Shazam book. Because that Shazam book got a bit Like he stretched things out too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, as much as I want to stop, I can't. Tell everyone I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make it to the parties and parades. I can't be late. Late for what? For whatever the rest of the world needs from me. So in other words, I can never be late again. So in other words, he's going to keep working. And then this is where we're introduced
to the
retcon. This is a retcon, but it's an in-universe acknowledged retcon.
Yeah.
And this feels like this was done. I'm convinced this was all done to make people more relatable to Barry. From the out behind the scenes point of view. Make it be this is what Reverse Flash would do to fuck with him. Yes, very true. But it felt like let's make him miserable because he's too square.
Yeah, but
and
you know what could have actually been something of if it was done like something of an actual insane retcon that he would have mentioned about having to see his parents and thinking that they are still around and alive.
Yeah,
and then the next issue they talk about as if they have been dead. They have been dead for years, with this being the status quo. That would have been a proper, huh?
Yeah, now granted, all these dudes were relying on the fans being all, huh? Because they're the only ones who would be confused.
Yeah, because Barry's parents were still alive. When he died, he was calling out to everyone in his life who beloved, including his parents, who were supposed to still be alive.
Exactly. But then this here, I mean, I get it. It sets up a mystery. Very well. But it's going to be the permanent status quo. That's the problem.
Oh.
Which again, now, I've learned to accept it. I've learned to tolerate it. Doesn't mean I like it. Oh. This is some of Jeff Johns at his... I gotta say, this is Jeff Johns at some of his worst, at his edgiest, where he does it just for the sake of being edgy.
I would like to imagine that had the New 52 not happened, there would have probably been some way to have to bring them back.
Oh, I think that would have been the plan.
Or fix it somehow.
I had a feeling that could have been the plan. Hey, if you remember, there was actually a preview once somewhere of showing Flashpoint, but it had the entire Flash family dressed up like Zoom. We never saw that.
Yeah.
But now we have Savitar show up. Now, I do like how this eventually will be utilized by Jeremy Adams.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, he basically grabs him, and then all of a sudden Savitar dies. He's absorbed. And when that happens, something causes a shift in the Speed Force and affects the kids especially.
Oh.
Now, again, I would say this is a strong start. But there's a lot wrong. But it's not bad either, though. You get why I'm conflicted on this, right?
Yeah, I can.
It's like, I want to like this more than I am. But I know I can't because I know it feels a little hollow. Is that a good way of putting it?
It's probably also in that sense that parts of the story have already happened in Final Crisis, and then it sets up things to happen that never get to happen.
Exactly. It sets up stuff that should have happened, but we never see it happen because of the fact that he got canceled, Flashpoint, everything happened, yada yada. Then you had to have Francis Manapul take over. Good choice. I would say Francis Manapul was a good choice. Would you agree with that?
I hope something happened, but okay.
No, sorry. Did you hear me? I said Francis Manapul was a good choice.
Yeah.
For Rebirth. Not Rebirth, New 52.
Yo.
Oh, yep, we said a bit more. That wasn't Grado, that's Savitar. Or what's his name?
Solovar.
That's Solovar. And then we have one of the worshippers for Savitar.
Alexandrova.
Yep.
I remember I had to name her a couple of times.
Yep. Shows up. He then disappears. Barry now feels like, what just happened? And again, I do like this mystery. It's a good mystery. You're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, and even with Barry having killed, like it looks like a CSI now in his
It does. And that
proper
was one
game job,
thing I
basically.
did give Johns props. He wanted to emphasize that. Again, he wouldn't get much time to do it, but he wanted to emphasize how back in the old days of Barry, CSI was no one cared about what CSI was. It was just a job position. No one knew how important it was back
Yeah.
then.
Then we got CSI Miami, and CSI New York, which
Exactly.
really elevated the position to be more recognized and respected.
Exactly. Now everyone knows what CSI is. And basically, but again, and which other writers would actually utilize it more, but no one's had the chance to do it. I mean, I think Francis Mandel did to a point, but not that much. But yeah, like they're trying to figure out what's going on. Like his metal mask wasn't affected, only his flesh completely disintegrated. Like you should do that. You should. I was supposed to meet with Wally and the others at home for dinner. You should do that. Spend some time with. This is Wally's perp. He'll know how to deal with it, and it's better than I would. You remember the drill? Contain the seed. Barry. Again, he's just focusing on work. He's not used to me keeping my distance. I'm sure how things he can somehow help me settle back in. He thinks we can relate my return to his. But the truth is, before he came back, the Green Lantern Corps, that's exactly what I said. He's summarizing exactly what I said. Yeah. It's night and day, the difference is.
Yeah.
Alan, you're late. Lieutenant Fry, sir, what the hell are you doing? So this is where we find out, I do love the explanation of the clip-on, and of the bow tie. It's a clip-on.
Yeah.
And that he needed to be up there. Yeah. Because he's not used to being out on the stand, up on the stand.
Yeah.
So he explained it all, and then, yeah, nice tie. All because he just needed to wear it to be up on the stand. Iris liked it, and he kept it.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good retconning of things to bring it back, you know. Iris Rex, crime reporter for the Central City Citizen. Yeah, this is how they first met. Of course, so then they ask about your mother. Again. I'll just be honest. I just never liked the retcon.
Yeah.
But we can't get rid of it. We can never go back. This is one of the few changes Jeff Johns has ever done that I never liked.
No.
But I've had
it's kind of like there are pros and cons to it, and it's a broken base.
It worked to get Flashpoint started.
Oh.
I think the problem was New 52 keeping it. Would you agree with that? That was the problem. New 52 keeping it canon. But they kind of had to. Flashpoint kind of ended where they kind of had to keep it.
Yeah, for Flashpoint to have happened.
Yeah, because they had to acknowledge that his mother is still gone, so you kind of had to, and
it's kind of weird how he forgot that who the murderer is.
Oh yeah, well, because that was that was when I think time settled in. I think that's the one nod to Crisis where time settled in and caught up. But yeah, the two were deciding to meet up for dinner and everything. Got him thinking about the case, and then, well, there's the lightning.
And there are also two different versions of Booster Gold fighting two different enemies out
there. I love that. I love that story. I covered that with Bianca, so sorry, can't go over that. But I love that. I love how they fit that in there. And then I love first how Jeff Johns and the other were utilizing it, and then Dan Jurgens would have it take place at the same time.
Yeah.
That is utilizing time travel to its utmost, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That is where you use it to its best, where you decide like, why not? But yeah, so it brings up the ring and everything, and meets up with his old buddy and everything. Just witness protection and everything. That's what they're claiming where he's been. They're claiming he's been in witness protection.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that? I think that's a decent explanation, but a little bit of a
It's not a band. It's basically a band-aid.
It's a band-aid, but it's better than Wonder Woman becoming a secret agent. Can we agree to that?
They still. Iris does say that Diana used some of her connections to.
Yeah, which that makes sense, but at the same time, still, it's still like, what? And Diana becoming a secret agent to try and connect with humanity. What? How can you connect to humanity if you're being a secret agent, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard though.
That made 0 sense. It felt like that was all done just to put her back in that jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're remembering everything. Again, this is where we're getting all the summary and everything. I stood trial for murdering Zoom, breaking Professor Zoom's neck. I ran away to the future with you when my life unraveled. Now notice, they don't bring up how you was having a second wife.
Yeah. I wonder, surprising how, eventually even Thorn doesn't bring up that, also remember that your second wife.
No, and they tried to say it was Iris.
Yeah.
Which I get for simplicity's sake, that makes sense. And it is post-Infinite Crisis, so...
Yeah, so you'll be retconned into different kinds of... But yeah.
But the science behind the Speed Force is still unknown. All we do know is that it happened to all of us at nearly the same moment. Barry, the same moment, right after Savitar died. Why didn't I feel anything, Wally? And why, of all the places, is there some kind of lightning storm in the town I was born in? Could it be the Weather Wizard or Abracadabra? Oh, and this is where they find the black Flash, and they also talk about how Max Mercury and some of the others are still taken away. Oh, there's Christina and Androva.
Yeah.
But same thing happens.
Oh.
Touches her and somehow absorbs her. You, Barry, you're the new Black Flash. Now, I liked it as a twist at first, but it ends up not going where we think.
Yeah, not to mention Black Flash was not used much after this.
To be fair, Black Flash was, that was actually a Morrison Millar creation, right? And technically it was then revealed that Black Flash is the Black Racer.
Yeah.
They're both one and the same.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? It always felt a little weird.
Does the Speed Force make it look weird, or is it a perception thing?
Not sure. Oh, you mean right here?
Nah, not here, but if they see the black racer coming at you, does the Speed Force make it look like a black suited Flash?
I don't know. I think it might take its form. Oh, we get the tease for Abracadabra, of course. Jessie. Oh yeah, we get a little nod, a bit about reminder of her father. I like that. Oh, little hint of her seeing visions of her father. They're trying out a deal with Barry. Again, stuff like this does work. This is why I say this is not trash. It's flowing nicely still. They're acting. They make sense. Like right now, it's like, yeah, we got to do something about this. This could be bad. Very bad. And I also like how they don't know, like, is this a bad side of him coming back?
Yeah.
Of course, like, what happened to Max? Like, he wants to know, and I get this. I like this. Why Bart's so mad? Because Barry's back, but not Max. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought he was free, but it was you. Why didn't Max get out too? Is Max dead? Yeah, because Max was more of a father to Bart than obviously Barry never was, or grandfather to him.
Yeah. That also actually reminds me that from Barry's point of view in his death and coming back is that
he doesn't remember any of those times in the afterlife.
So it was more or less that he just remembers destroying the Anti-Monitor's cannon and then
waking up again
and being brought back in Final Crisis.
Now, I do believe they imply that it's like when Hal lost the Spectre, which we didn't mention before. All the memories faded. I think it's something similar. As soon as he left the afterlife from the Speed Force, all those memories disappeared.
So it's just from running in one place to running into another place.
Exactly. But yeah, of course, him with Iris, like, I'm not talking about the Speed Force. I'm talking about Barry Allen. You live for running across the roads of America. She's calling him out! But you always took a breath. You always slow down long enough to spend time with your friend and family. With me. Did we get it all stay back there? And I love it. Now a lot of guys get pull off a bow tie. Again, it wasn't meant to be his normal attire, but she assumes it was. That's adorable.
Yeah.
Barry, run! He's still, all of his energy is building up. Get me out of here. Get me away from him, Hal. Now! Barry, I love you. Now, every bolt of lightning is aiming for him. I'm contacting Dr. Caldar and the others. I'll tell them to meet us at the Justice League headquarters. Is anyone following us, Hal? Not according to my ring. Good, let me out. What are you doing? Making an executive decision. He's basically deciding to go back to the Speed Force.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah, it was the... How did I recap this?
Of course, the race.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you do this. You can't win. He says, like, I've raced you before, Barry. I've even won some of those races. Those were for charity. Boom! Now, here's the thing, though. Barry is faster than Superman when they run. But when Superman flies, it's a different story.
Yeah, obviously there's more movement and frictional energy when Superman has to move all the rest of his body while moving.
Exactly.
If he's going like this, then it's a different story.
Yep, and this is where he's going back, catching up to everything, including with Final Crisis, his death, back in time then, seeing all of this. And he's like, as long as I remember Iris, I'll be all right. Because here's the thing people got to remember. The reason why Barry stayed stuck in the Speed Force, he didn't have a tether. Because at that point, he thought Iris was dead. During the crisis, he thought she was dead.
So, that reminds me. Reverse Flash originally killed her when in the costume party where she was Batgirl.
Yeah.
So, did he, in this continuity, actually kill her during the wedding?
I'm guessing that. That's what I'm guessing. But as long as I remember Iris, it'll be all right. As long as I remember Iris, sees all the stuff with his dad and everything. But it's like, he's starting to forget his mom's name. He's starting to forget. It's that whole point. He's pointing over what Wade has done. Where it's hard. It's a struggle to keep that tether.
Yeah. I remember Wally's struggle with when he was somewhere and what happened with Linda at the time.
Yep. Johnny and Max show up. But then Johnny touches them and he dies for good. At least initially. Max, don't touch me. I'll kill you. No, it's not you. Professor, come on in. Do you understand yet, Barry? Do you not see what I've done? I've shifted you into reverse. And this, I adore this Reverse Flash. Jeff Johns and then Williamson made me adore this version. He is fun. He is a troll incarnate.
Yeah.
And I like how that makes him different from Black Adam and Sinestro, who are good men who are going about extremist stuff. No, in his case, you don't give a crap.
Yeah. That's actually the kind of evil that there is, and not to mention the selfishness. That's
now, granted, he wants to be there are times where he wants to be a good guy, but at this point, he's like, my whole life is ruined. I don't care.
Yeah. We need to go over some point over that one fan fiction I did where I actually wrote Reverse Flash.
We should do that at some point.
Yeah.
Like, you're early for once. Wally, Jay, Bart, it should have taken one of them dying before you were willing to rejoin the Speed Force. I like that!
Yeah. He wrote that Barry decided to sacrifice himself before anyone else died.
Yep. You murdered Johnny Quick! Barry, wait! Yes, Johnny Quick, you caught me red-handed. Now stop this. This is not a race to see who's faster. I am! You have no lightning here. This is my Speed Force. It's taking over yours like a cancer. You know, I must continue to commend you for actually attempting to unlock the science behind our lightning, Maxwell. It's something Sally Barry never thought to do. He just ran and ran with that naive smile. But it was staring both of us right in the face all those years. For every positive, there must be a negative. So that's why he did it at the beginning. He repeated all so we can have the negative Speed Force.
Yeah.
Up until this point, he's always had just the Speed Force.
Yeah, now there's another Speed Force, and
Yep.
just run generating it.
And this is where it's finally the retcon. And I gotta say also, I don't like the retcon that Barry created the Speed Force.
Oh.
That it was created both forward and back in time. Again, it feels like everything that worked for Green Lantern Rebirth doesn't work here.
No, it's not doesn't work here. Like, had it be something that Max figured out that to exist, and Wally then
and utilized them. Barry's now getting used to it, but have it be that Barry created it? Again, it feels like it's set up for Flashpoint because you needed that.
Yeah, it would have probably like for example, like what we talked about earlier, like about Ares being kryptonite, like it could have been something that maybe Barry did create it, but don't confirm it as a fact.
Yeah, but they do here.
But don't confirm it.
Yeah, they even say like now he does bring up like you left a legacy that's on. I love it then, but I do like Reverse Flash here. My lightning poisons your family through you. Upon my return, you can imagine my utter disappointment to discover you sacrificed yourself to save the universe. History was a way of defining men by a single act. Obviously, because he doesn't remember what happened. You know, in return to Barry Allen. And you became more and more than you ever truly were. A boring labyrinth was romanticized into the most selfless hero of his time. So now we have him. He's representing the fans who never cared for Barry. Would you agree with that? He's representing the Wally fans who despise Barry.
Yeah.
You left a legacy that thrived and grew. It appeared there was nothing you could do and I could do to you. No revenge to be had. Your story was over. So I thought. Are you listening to me, Barry? Class is in session. After your historic sacrifice, destroying the Antimatter's weapon, you were lost to the Speed Force. Years later, when Bart Allen's life was threatened, you emerged to help your descendant, but you left the door open. I sent a message, a subliminal pulse, trying to wake up what was left of your self-awareness. That's another thing. This makes no sense. It feels like Jeff John's trying to just tack on to the Final Crisis return. So it's like basically saying it's the wibbly wobbly timing wise. So Blackest Night happened, but Barry's back. But Barry wasn't back because he prevents. You see, I'm going cross-eyed just trying to come up with this.
You know, this is something similar I also did in that story. I thought, but it was also something that went kind of backwards. That you had a future version and a past version who like with the future version was also trying to make sure that the past version would go into the same track so that the past version could become that future version who makes sure the past version would.
But I do also like, though, it is referencing how technically Barry's Return Final Crisis was kind of pointless. Like, was it needed? Not really.
Yeah. Like you said, probably could have done it
alone.
Oh.
But so I do like that. And I do also like the negative Speed Force. Every time he runs, it generates the negative energy that contaminates him. Yep. And this is then where they start to play. Your buttons are so easy to push. They've been since the very beginning. Now, what's that old saying in your time period? If you want something right, you have to do it yourself. Of course, everyone is now freaked out. But Wally knows. He knows the Speed Force better than anyone. He'll do it. He's like, I've got Linda. As long as I have Linda, I'll find my way back.
Oh.
Unfortunately, now the kids are starting to act out. And the fact that Jay is acting a bit more like his Kingdom Come self.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. Again, not actually, maybe more aggressively. I think the Kingdom Come version of Jai was...
No. I'm talking about being the slacker.
Yeah, slacker is, but He was had a more of a mellow personality. And this is more.
Uh-oh. Me, is your mother home? I will say this, though. I think I realized another thing that really helped EVS with Green Lantern Rebirth was Moose's coloring. Here, the coloring is a little flat. It's good, but it doesn't add that cinematic quality.
Maybe it's also kind of the lack of diversity. It's red, different shades of red and different shades and yellow going.
Right.
That's also majority there. With Green Lantern, there was the green shown from the middle of all the other different colors and shades.
Yep, of course, they bring up the whole lantern thing, of course, how like, I can't get out, Barry. What? Look, Jay has Joan, Wally has Linda, you have Iris. All the speedsters, when they're pushing their limits, I never had an anchor. You had Bart, Max! And Johnny lost Libby. That's why neither of us could escape. But you, I can't run out of here, Max. I'm cut off from the Speed Force. No, you're not. You're not like the rest of us, Barry. You're like Thawne. Like when I first saw that bright light on the horizon, I tried to run into it. But every time I got close, I jumped forward in time. I didn't know it then. It was because I was running towards you. Okay, I don't mind that explanation. Me, this all began with you, Barry. When you were hit by the ball of lightning, you didn't tap into the Speed Force. When you created it.
Why couldn't Ye have created it?
No, well, because Jay had nothing to do with lightning, remember?
Oh, yeah.
His was the hard water vapors.
Oh. But Ye has since been connected to it.
But that's retroactively. And it's also a case where, and they do reference it at the end of the crisis, remember? He has his own meta abilities. That's what the hard water did. He could still run fast, just not as fast as he could with the Speed Force. Protect them, and protect them. Protect Bart. Run, Barry. Run.
Oh,
but all the other
overused.
Yeah, what?
This was before the CW overused that line.
Yeah.
It's fine. It has the impact, but the CW overused it so much that it's just.
Oh, but here's the point where he says, "Hello, Mr. West. I'm Professor Eobard's son. Mom, I must give Wally some credit. You're much more attractive in the Fretch than you are in the history files. And look, your son has your eyes. It is for Linda, though, still. It's like, Mom, I can feel they're tied to the... But here's something else they point out. They do point out. I'll just get out here. The Speed Force is also a fountain of youth. If Barry wishes it. If the user wishes it. It's why Jay and Joan are still around so long.
Yeah.
But it's also why Barry had Iris become younger. And that's the dumb reason!
Yeah. It would have been, if it was something that Barry wished, that he probably did that
subconsciously.
Subconsciously in some passive way.
But they never have Iris acknowledge it. He's like, oh my God, I'm hot again. Nope, as far as she knows, she's always been that hot. Again. But yeah, basically now he's mangling, like basically as soon as they were born, the Speed Force tangled them in knots. So he actually untangles it. But, okay, this is good. And I gotta say, I do like EVS's handling of Bart as a little Humberto Ramos to his cheeks and everything.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Have you noticed that? It's a little toonier. Just a little. Well, obviously for its use, but it does have a little bit of Humberto Ramos to it.
Yeah, okay.
And Barry said I had an ego. I never had parades. Okay. I do like Zoom calling him out on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wally's catching up finally. You're behind all this, aren't you? You hurt Barry. I've hurt Barry in more ways than you could ever imagine, Mr. Garrick. Oh, he removed the aura.
Oh.
And now you, jerk. You're on the wrong side of this feud, boy. A feud that exists across time. I've broken through, Max, but Thawne must be running the negative Speed Force. It's still growing. I can't get out. Barry, Wally, is that you? Your mother may be a Thawne, but your father was an Allen. Your blood is polluted. Look on the bright side, Professor Plum. We're only half related.
Hmm.
I wasn't there for my kids, Max, for Wally and his, and I wasn't there for Bart, but you were. After everything you gave my grandson, after everything you sacrificed to help and learn and grow, you're like his father, Max, your family, and there's no way I'm leaving family behind. I wish that Johnny didn't have to go, but I guess that they had to sacrifice someone.
Yeah, sacrificial lion.
Yep. Oh, the pleasure is going to be all ours, Professor Max. Oh, and Jesse is finally remembering the Speed Force again. Jay Garrick, Wally West, Bart Allen, Barry Allen. I'm back, Son, but this time on my terms. Now, I will say, this feels, keeping it to just Son, no parallax, no revealing of anything else besides Son, is a bit more simplified. And I do like it for that.
Yeah, not to mention personal coming from.
Oh! Oh, what if? The famous cover, the guy got killed!
Oof, yeah.
I noticed Jay's in the background.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh.
Oh, this moment. I can't believe it, Mom. No one's stopping to help us. And the movie tapped into this scene, if I recall.
Yeah, in there it was a sunny day. Probably because it's easier to animate a bright and sunny day than a...
To be fair, though, even with the rain, you can't really tell except for the background. Even her hair doesn't look wet.
Yeah, but you got to see the effect.
Yep. I do like, though, the stuff it was more like, when it comes to this lemon, I've got the magic touch. Next up, the comic shop, the coffee shop. Aw, coffee! But yeah, all this, showing all this stuff, like, I've been out of step with everything else for as long as I can remember. I never got to work on time. Never left on time. Okay, stuff like that I don't mind.
Yeah.
But when I returned from the Speed Force after years of being away, I felt different. I felt like I couldn't stop. I felt alone again. Now that explained because he deep down knows about his mom. Like there's something off.
Yeah, that's something that it's...
Yep,
because that was a quote of the melancholy. He knows the recalls, but doesn't have a mental access to the knowledge.
Yep. Oh, I learned this from a friend of Wally's. Uh-oh. The snap. Yep. Oh, but they are starting to act up. Something is going wrong because of their power and everything. I could see what went wrong this whole time. Jay and I were twins. We've been sharing a connection to the Speed Force. We've been fighting over, we fight over everything. But it'll hurt both of us if we keep doing it. I like that! Because they were twins, it's a snap.
Energy.
Yep, you're my brother, Jay. I don't want to hurt you anymore. Irie, let go. Oh, Irie! Like, have you figured out the rest out yet? You're the police officer. What's my MO? Oh, Liberty Bell shows up to help. I felt my father's hand on my shoulder guiding me here. His voice is fading, but he says your daughter is one of us now, Irie. She's the next generation. So now she's fully a Flash as opposed to partially. Like, hey, Bart, catch! Again, this is where he's being the big troll still. Yeah. It should be in a museum, Jay, like you. You know what the Speed Force really needs more of? And more of? Girl power! Yeah, and way less of you. Oh, again, just all then they change. With a little help from Wally knowing how to do this, they changed their outfits.
Yeah, basically giving something to differentiate because they had a similar-ish suits. But
in fact, how it was in Return Barry Allen. You know how the difference. Remember, darker red, no eyes.
Yeah, and lighting ball like that. It's kind of a shame that when it comes to adaptations, they keep giving Barry the Wally suit.
Yeah. They kept getting Wally Barry's job.
Kind of unbalanced, but I suppose it's some balance.
Yeah. But yeah, now she's Impulse doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Aren't you what? Oh, here's what it is. Aren't you wondering why Iris doesn't look a day older than the day you left her? The Speed Force isn't simple fuel to amplify acceleration. That's only part of it. It's knowledge and evolution. And every scientist's holy grail. Use! Say goodbye to your family now, Barry. We need some alone time. And this is where he said, starts talking about like the second part. Maybe, but the first part, Barry, that's already done. That's history. Do you remember the day you broke your arm in 6th grade? Damn! Do you remember the electrical fire that burned down your first house in Fallville? Or the day you moved to Central City and left the back door open? Your dog ran out and got hit by a car? What if every bad thing that happened to you, what if everything that bad thing that happened to you was orchestrated by one person? By an enemy you hadn't even made yet? I opened that door, Barry. I started the fire. I pushed you down the stairs. Nice work, Mom. You did it, didn't you? You son of a bitch! Yes.
Let me do this. I murdered your mother. Because I always imagine that he said it something like this this kind of man is like, I murdered your mother. Like this kind of way, not in a sort of crowd voice, but it sounds like, I murdered your mother.
But I gotta say I gotta say it. It was me, Barry.
If he, but that's what you say. But
he never actually said it. But
yeah, but this is actually something that he doesn't need to say. He needs to hint at it and make Barry draw the conclusion, and then he's like, "You," and then they're like, "Yes,
I murdered."
This is such a powerful scene. That Ethan also drew this panel alone. Is something that this is basically a scene that is begging to be adapted, and neither CW or the 2023 movie got it.
Nope, and they didn't.
Or even the damn animated movie. This is
a
powerful scene. Why hasn't it been adapted?
I know. But again, no. But it's as powerful as it is, it still ties into the annoyance of this retcon. But then, of course, he said, she fought. Like, oh, how she fought. You're lying. You lived a life where you watched your parents grow old together. But that's gone now, Barry. It's gone forever. I've learned through experience. You can't change the past. I now got to ask, do you know how Williamson explained how he actually changes it? It turns out it's actually simple. He does it while time is paused. He doesn't try to change it while time is moving.
I need to reread that.
It's so simple.
Yeah, I need to reread that to properly comprehend it.
But see, that's so simple.
Yeah, maybe.
But you wouldn't think about that. You would think you would try and change it while time's moving. No, that's what leads to disaster.
That's exactly also why I need to reread it so I can properly see how it's happened and comprehend it better.
Right.
But also to go back to what I said, there have been 3 adaptations of Flash.
I know.
None of them have adapted that scene. Okay,
I know.
We move forward.
I know. But that's what's different. That's what I've been feeling. It had nothing to do with the Speed Force. It's me. But there's some things that haven't changed in this new life of yours. That's what has kept you chanting to yourself. As long as I remember Iris, I'll be all right. Shut up! I'm going to take her from you in every way, Barry. Before you two ever married, before you even dated. She's going to die, and you're going to forget her. Iris! As long as I kill Iris, everything will be all right. I love that's a twist! That's a chilling reversal!
Oh.
And Mother May I.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's just... Okay.
Yep. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, damn it. He's trying to stop him everything. Well, and I ran so fast we were drawn to the distant pants. When we eventually found our way back, my mind saw a glimpse of an idea, presumably from the Speed Force. The treadmill, of course. Apparently that isn't a problem for Thawne. He can do things we can't. He can alter and travel. He can travel in time. He can alter history. My history. he disappeared into the blinding blood red horizon on his way to do it again. It leaves behind a trail, but it's nothing I can hold on to. He's getting away. The man who murdered my mother is getting away, and I've hit the wall. Oh, but I've got you, Wally. Now, this would have been so amazing if it didn't lead to Wally getting the short shift.
Yes.
Can we agree this is awesome? Everything here was trying to make it clear Wally is still good, and for a while they still had a few writers still use Wally. But then New 52 happened!
Yo, if it
wasn't for New 52, crisis happened!
Yo. And let's throw another dart at Dan DiDio.
Oh, boy, have you seen Dan DiDio? Have you heard about Dan DiDio's little short story he did recently for the I Know What You Did Last Crisis?
Oh, yo.
And I would say that is clearly a joke. I doubt he really believes it. That was meant to be a joke at what people have said about him. And I give him props for making fun of himself.
Yeah. If you kind of make fun of yourself, then that's
Yep. But of course, that's when he realized where he's heading to stop, Eobard murdering my mother. As long as I kill Iris, everything will be all right. What? How? Why would he? It's the way his twisted mind works. It's a sick joke. Like, alternate paths is supposed to be impossible, according to every rule we know, but he can do it. Why leave you? Because he needs me alive. His speed force can't exist without mine. I do like that as well.
Yeah, and the CW ignored it.
Yep. He's always been after Iris. Oh, perfect. Hexy. Now, of course, this is basically deja vu for Wally. Wouldn't you say? It's Linda all over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I get it, but at the same time, I feel like, Jeff, you're reusing a point. I mean, it's dramatic. It's epic. It makes sense, but it's a rehash.
Yeah, but do you think on a subconscious level, Thorn could remember acknowledging it in return from when he said, yeah, no, it's a cliche, but hey, if it works, it works.
True. Oh no, Iris! Oh! Your precious Iris forever at my ace in the hall. She's not dying. No, Barry, please, you only delay the inevitable. Iris will die. You all will. That's quite clear in the 25th century. But it won't be because of you, Son. You think even if you do stop me from throwing a wrench into your path, that your future is happily ever after? No one is, Wally. Not Barry's, not yours. Let me tell you something about your future. And when they get older, one of your children is going to destroy your life. Thankfully, that never happened.
Yeah, it's gaslighting.
Yep, of course, this is then where we get through, we need one to ground us when we move too fast and lose control. Throughout your sad, pathetic life, you never loved anyone, did you? We have our lightning rods, but you never got yours. Until now. Consider it an early Christmas present. Now, this works here because he's not a paradox yet.
Flashpoint hasn't happened, so it's not,
So he's not the paradox yet. That would be the issue. That's why things play out differently at the end of Williamson's run.
Yeah.
But they capture him and then depower him.
Yeah.
So what now? Now, Bart, we try this again. Yay! Oh, then Williamson would play off on this.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing that this was a thread. It's a thread that was left hanging. So
it was the most obvious. Zoom and Hunter meet. Zoom and Zoom.
Yeah.
But Dr. Alchemy got away. That wouldn't be utilized till after Adam's run. But we said a bit more about this. This was supposed to imply for Flashpoint, obviously.
Yeah.
The rogues again. In case of Flash and the Flash returns, break glass. I always wonder what this was. Why'd you keep it? Found on the night we went on our first date. The guy in the coat check looked at me like I was crazy, which wasn't anything new when I asked him to hold it. I don't know, though. I guess I thought it was a sign. I felt I'd been struck by lightning that night, too. Are you sure unpacking this unpacking this slower than driving you completely nuts? I'm fine. You said unpacking your office on the crime lab was, and I quote, like being dragged over hot coals by a snail with a limp. I don't want to do everything fast, Iris. And so you've said before. I mean it. Aw, when I was free from the Speed Force by Sawn, it felt like every second I had left was slipping away, like a clock counting down. I felt like I couldn't waste any time, and I ended up wasting it all. I was moving so fast, I made the reverse flash the truth behind the Speed Force. I shut myself from Hal and Wally, and most importantly, you. No matter how fast I'm moving, time's going to keep ticking away. Time doesn't stop. Time won't ever stop. When I'm with you, Iris, when I'm with you, it feels like it does. Now, this here is not EVS's inking.
Yeah, it kind of looks different.
They had to get it out. They needed to get the issue out. So this was the one-page EVS did not ink himself.
Oh.
Like, sorry I'm late.
It is.
Sorry I'm late, but it is night and day from Green Lantern Rebirth. Again, is it bad? No. Hell no. Definitely not bad. But again, everything that Green Lantern did right, it felt like they were trying to do a take two here when it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a good analogy. I'm trying to get a good analogy. It's like when you pave over something. Oh, no. It's one case was fixing the hard drive. You know what I mean? Like totally refixing it, refurbishing it. This felt like copying over our old hard drive with the data from a new hard drive. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts, dude, because I've rambled.
It has good moments, and Reverse Flash being pretty much rebuilt as a with what Jeff John did with, like we said about with Black Adam and Sinestro.
Yep, but being completely their opposite.
Yeah, but this wasn't a carbon copy in that sense,
right? And just. I don't want to say it's not bad. This was a good way to bring Barry back if you absolutely had to. But it felt like, again, Hal, you needed to. You need to bring back the whole core. The whole core was needed. This, it was a rebirth, but a rebirth that wasn't entirely needed.
No, it was
the whole point. You remember the whole point of this book being done was because Wally's Take Two wasn't selling, and Bart had failed.
Yeah.
So this was their next attempt.
And third time it was charming-ish.
Yeah. And again, it did make Barry at least a little interesting, but he's still a plank of wood in the end.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry. He was still a plank of wood that just had something terrible thrust onto him.
And responded to it. I think that New 52 did something little to
a little better.
Or it better. But then it's also kind of that they Wallified Barry while also Barryfying Wally.
Yep. Oh boy, and then you had it of course you had again Wally getting screwed over. This was meant to be the fresh start, and it barely lasted a year.
Yeah.
There's only 12 issues from the newer one.
Yeah, it was 2009. Okay, February 24, 2010.
Yeah.
The issues came out as they did after this and Flashpoint started back in May.
Yeah. So you had that, and you remember you had the first arc that was with the Rogues from the future, which Jeremy Adams and Joshua Williamson would utilize there, And then you led right into the lead up the Flashpoint.
Yeah, and then Flashpoint happened.
And then everything got thrown out the window.
Yeah.
But
that Mayor Knuckles episode was very good because when I did a Flashpoint episode, I was able to do so many different edits about how it happened by using that episode.
Right, but
Sonic Boom.
I know, but again, just this, I would say I still say Green Lantern Rebirth is perfection.
Yeah.
It is one of the best relaunching. This is the flawed relaunch, but still better than others.
Mm.
We can acknowledge that, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bad relaunch,
Yeah.
but it's full of stuff that is unnecessary.
Yeah, it's maybe something that it hasn't aged well. Maybe it was a good idea when it started, but as time has gone by, the whole thing that it was built from that and what it was supposed to be built towards that never got to happen. It's kind of the same thing that happened with the actual DC Rebirth back in 2016. It was trying to build towards Doomsday
Clock. But then, to be fair, Doomsday Clock itself then got changed partway when they decided to make it self-contained and basically ignore everything but the button.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that was a double-edged sword decision. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was.
But overall, like I said, I would give it like a 7 or an 8. It's still one of Jeff Johns' stronger stuff.
Mm.
And again, but this was a case where again, again, it was needed across the board. And Jeff had this big plan. Here, this felt more like an assignment. Would you agree with that? Like one was a grand vision. This felt like an assignment.
Yeah, kind of. I remember when they also trying to build at least something with Jesse Quick and with the twins.
They were going to, yeah. They were going to.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you do know that in right, the last issue of Justice League had Jessie be pregnant, right? And then she had the baby during Convergence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they wanted to clear up that loose thread as well. It was basically, they knew, and what Robinson knew it was the final issue, so he wanted to end it on a happy note.
A lot of ways they tried to.
And come on, given how much newlyweds she and Hourman were, you knew it was on any day now they were going to get, he was going to knock her up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice to have when it was.
Yeah, but anyway, still with but yeah, for the but this is what started me reading the Flash. I will acknowledge that. This started getting me reading the Flash. Well, Return of Barry Allen was just a graphic novel, and I still loved that, but I didn't buy the books regularly by that point. I started buying it regularly from this point, and I still do to this day. Just like Green Lantern got me started with Green Lantern Rebirth.
Yeah, those are great, like pulling a new reader in, and then it takes over them going forward, but also gives them interest to go back to see what the previous stories were.
I just realized something else. Green Lantern felt like a much-needed jumping-on point. This felt just like, again, another relaunch after all the other failed attempts.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Because, I think that hurt this. I think the other attempts hurt this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt like was it really, again, you knew then. You knew this was just another case of Bart failed, Wally Take-Two failed. Let's bring Barry back now.
Yeah.
And then, now, I don't blame the Dio for having to do New 52. That was out of his hand. That was thrust on him to have to come up with something, and they were desperate.
Yeah,
you can't blame him for that. He did the best he could from a very bad situation. But okay, let's just wrap it up. So yeah, that was Flash Rebirth. Again, pales to Green Lantern, but fun in its own right. It changed Flash forever, for good or for ill.
And at least some parts of it should be acknowledged when you talk about Flashpoint.
You definitely should, but they haven't, unfortunately. I murdered your mother.
Yeah.
But Oh yeah, still. We can't end. There's no call sign to end on, so let's just simply.